We are joined now by journalist Jenni Monet. She has been covering the fight against the Dakota Access Pipeline since the beginning, and she's joining us from near the protest camp now. Ms. Monet, thanks so much for joining us. What's been the reaction down there today following the green lighting of the Dakota Access Pipeline by U.S. President Trump this morning?
Yeah, it's been very interesting, Dennis. From the start, even when this was just being rumored earlier this morning, there was already some statements coming in from the tribe that basically just said, let's just put a reminder on this that we have an environmental impact study in effect and in the process right now, and there needs to be respect for that. And immediately sent out a statement really just kind of denouncing this kind of unlawful approach to this EIS statement was the sentiment of the tribe. And among the water protectors themselves, those remaining in, the very bitter cold of winter here on the North Dakota prairie, there's just been resolve that this struggle, this battle over the Dakota Access Pipeline is not over.
Jenny, this comes at the same time as the Standing Rock Tribal Council recently voted in favor of asking people to leave the camps that have been set up for months. Can you tell us a little bit about what was behind that decision?
Sure. Leading up to this, at the very start of the first of the year, there was concern about the floodplain where the mass demonstrations of that main encampment have been set up, the Oceti-Shikoi camp. And that's a known floodplain here near the Standing Rock Sioux Reservation. There was concern that that area needed to be cleared out before the spring thaw settled in. And so even then there was a call for everyone to move out of that area. But then came a unanimous decision by the Tribal Council last week, following another week of kind of reinvigorated and escalation of violence, mostly on the part of Morton County Sheriff's Department over the prayer demonstrations that were taking up again near those camps and at this bridge blockade near the main encampment, the Oceti-Shikoi. And I think that among the tribal councilmen and their constituents, there was a shared concern that there's just enough. They've had enough of the interactions. They want to see that blockade opened up, and that was a big part behind asking everyone to leave by February 19th.
Always difficult to predict what's going to happen next down there. What do you see unfolding over the coming days and weeks?
You're absolutely right. It is unpredictable. But I would say that this week, knowing that there was going to be some kind of executive order or something from the Trump administration was actually already foreshadowed from North Dakota Congressman Kevin Cramer on Inauguration Day in December, or on Saturday. He had even alluded to this fact that Trump will, press forward with this pipeline, and that's not been anything new. We've known that leading up ever since he was elected president. Now moving forward, we have kind of a renewed support for this pipeline from North Dakota's new governor, who was inaugurated earlier this year, who's just come out again in throwing his support behind this, saying that after months of politically driven and costly delays by the Obama administration, President Trump has moved this important infrastructure project one step closer to completion. And that is a direct quote from Governor Doug Burgum from just moments after the executive order came down. And just as we're trying to understand what this executive order means, because it's still a lot of unclear language, there was a memo to the Department of Army from President Trump, and really just kind of stating that the construction and operation of this pipeline was lawfully permitted to begin with. And that's really at the crux of where this argument is, whether or not those permits were already granted to Energy Transfer Partners, the operator of this Dakota Access Pipeline, or not. And from the tribe's perspective, they would say absolutely not. That's what that December 4th decision was about, was denying that easement to the DAPL.
Jenni Monet, interesting days ahead. Thanks so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.